Hello, and welcome to Jessica and Julie's podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Jessica.
And this month we went to I believe it's pronounced MOCA Pacific Design Center. I almost said program.
Yep, the MOCA Pacific Design Center in West Hollywood, which is just sort of almost on the corner of San Vicente and Santa Monica. So it's like right in the heart.
Mm-hmm. It is actually on the corner of Melrose and San Vicente, I think.
Oh, well, way to be specific.
I just wanted to one-up you.
Okay. Well, you did. And I feel badly about myself.
Well,
Thanks.
it's okay. You'll get over it.
Maybe. We'll see. So Julie found a neat exhibit. It's called Catherine Opie, 700 Nimes Road, and it's located in the MOCA building, I guess, of the Pacific Design Center.
Which is really cool. We didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I had never noticed that building before. I've only been to the Pacific Design Center once prior to today, and had never noticed that building.
Never. It's very nondescript.
Yeah, and if you've never gotten a chance to check out the Pacific Design Center, you should. The building itself is really pretty. It's
so beautiful.
Just a gorgeous blue. What color blue would you say that is?
Oh, boy. Well, if I'm going MEJ colors, I'd say Blitzen blue.
Yeah, it's kind of like Blitzen blue.
Pretty Blitzen
like
blue.
Like a royal blue, but
yeah,
slightly different than royal.
Like a bright,
yeah,
true blue.
True blue.
There you go.
Very, very true.
And they have a red building, a blue building, and a green building.
Yeah, and so it's really bright.
Massive.
Yeah, and we made the mistake of walking into the Pacific Design Center instead of the MOCA building. There was just the most gorgeous piano there. Oh my God! What were the colors of that? It was.
Why are you so obsessed with colors
I
today?
don't know. I'm really fascinated by this.
Hey, nice shoes.
Oh, hey, thanks.
We're wearing basically the same shoes, and we've been walking around together for hours.
Yep.
And we just noticed.
Yep.
It was like a. It was
a grand piano. And
if it had been a dog, I would say it was brindle colored.
No
Do you know
idea
what
you're talking about. But it was a grand piano, and normally those are. I've only ever seen grand pianos as being black or white. Even I've never. That's why I was so
never paid attention.
Taken aback by this
That is
piano because it was like brown, but multiple colors of brown. Oh yeah,
that's brindle.
Okay, yeah.
If you don't know what brindle is, just do a quick Google. The piano was like kind of brindle.
Yeah,
colored. And I don't know if that's a term that is used specifically for dogs, but if the piano had been a dog, it would have been
like
brindle.
Yeah,
yep.
Wow.
It was really pretty.
I learned something new today.
There you go.
And so anyways, we mistakenly went, into that building and saw that beautiful piano, and then they directed us back out to the MOCA building where this exhibit was. And so basically what it was, a photographer, Catherine Opie, was allowed to go to Elizabeth.
Jessica couldn't think of that word last time, so we had to restart it.
Oh, thanks a lot. She was allowed to go to Elizabeth Taylor's home in between 2010 and 2012 and take photographs around her home. Never while Elizabeth Taylor was there, though, which I found to be interesting.
Do we know she wasn't there, or was she just not in the photos?
No, in the little blurb that they had when you walked in, it said that was never while she was there.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe she was camera shy at that point because it was very late into her life. I'm going to just do a quick Google search of when Elizabeth Taylor died. But it was, I feel like, shortly thereafter, you know?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about... Oh, she died in 2011.
Oh.
So, during it.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Elizabeth Taylor had passed. I thought she was still alive. And so then I found out, and at one point I asked Jessica, is she still alive? But it was during a point in time where we had also been discussing Liza Minnelli. So Jessica thought I was asking about Liza Minnelli.
Yep.
And she was like, oh no, she's still alive. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just kept on and, looked at all the photos and thought Elizabeth Taylor was alive. And then while we were leaving, Jessica was like, no, she's dead. And I was like, what? You said she was alive.
Yeah, no,
she
died.
But that's very sad. That some of those pictures were taken after she passed, I'm sure.
Right, but she lived a long, long life.
How old was she?
According to Wikipedia, she was not that long. 79 when she died.
Oh, okay.
So relatively long. The exhibit consisted of photos of her home And just intimate looks inside.
And her things, not just her home, like close-ups of like her things, and it was really interesting. She had some very outdated. She had a very outdated phone, and she had a very outdated television in her kitchen.
So there's pictures of Elizabeth Taylor's beautiful jewelry.
50 of them, right? Exactly, wasn't it exactly 50?
50 pictures. A lot of it is of her jewelry, and Elizabeth Taylor was known for her outlandish and gaudy jewelry, I would say. Just beautiful, just diamonds and diamonds. Julie was not so interested in those pictures, but was more interested in the fact she had an outdated phone and an outdated television. And in one picture she saw a very new Apple laptop, and that really threw her for a loop.
Because I first saw the phone, and I was like, when were these pictures taken? Are these really old? And Jessica was like, oh, maybe they are pretty old. And I was like, no, I thought it was between 2010 and 2011. And she went, oh, I don't know. And then a couple photos later, we saw an Apple laptop, and I went, ah! See? Yeah, I was really interested in stuff like that. You know what I also was interested in was, at some point, and they were not, what is the word that I'm trying to think of now, when it's like one right after another?
Sequential?
Yes, they were not sequential, but there, for example, was a photo of the one that had the old phone in it.
Yeah.
God, it's such an old phone. It was just so weird. I haven't seen a phone like that in like 20 years.
Can I blow your mind real quick?
Yeah.
My parents had phones like that, and we still have one in my parents' house at my dad's desk. That works.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need so many lines?
I don't know.
It's like one of those panel phones with like...
Yeah,
That's
he still
amazing.
has it. I know. Because there's cordless phones throughout the rest of the house.
Right.
Why
just
not?
that one that is just anchored in there.
Yeah, because they moved. And so we had them all over my old house. Because that was back when you needed all those lines. Sort of.
It's like an intercom type phone,
yeah,
right?
and it was like a big deal because, you could use it as an intercom.
Yeah.
But now they don't have the other phones. They just have that one.
Huh.
Maybe when I go home, I'll take a picture of my dad's desk and send it to you. So you can,
Please do.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it... So in that picture, for example, it was like a different angle. It was a certain angle of her desk, and you saw her chair. The chair was really the main focus.
Pretty.
It was a really pretty chair. And then you saw the phone. You saw part of, a television monitor, and then part of a DVD player and a little bit of makeup. And then, like 20 photos down the line, we saw all of that makeup, but you couldn't necessarily tell that it was the same makeup from the desk. So it was like they turned and took it from a different angle, as though they were sitting in the chair now, facing the makeup. And it was really cool to kind of like try to put the picture of what her room looked like together just by looking at... They also did it, they had a picture of her handbags through a mirror.
Yeah.
And then... they had a picture of her, like a close-up of her cowboy boots with the two handbags hanging on either side. And then I saw a picture of her entire closet, and I was able to be like, oh, there are the handbags, and there are the... It was really cool to kind of like piece things together that way.
It was, and you got just, like you said, a little glimpse into her life, especially when you think about it was at the end of her life, so she's very old at that point, but...
A lot of cowboy boots.
A lot of cowboy boots. Well, it's fascinating because she was someone who was in the limelight for most of her life. She started out as a child actor, so to watch someone grow up, I mean, that was before our generation, so I don't have that strong of feelings about Elizabeth Taylor. My sort of memories of her are as an older woman when she was in, I think, the first Flintstones movie. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not even remember that.
Yeah, and then I've seen a few of her earlier movies. God, there's one that I just love.
Is it the Virginia Woolf one?
No, I've never seen that, but I've wanted to.
I had to watch that in high school acting class once.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's supposed to be really good.
It was really good. I'd like to watch it as an adult now that I'm a little bit more cultured and I understand acting and, everything that
I want to
probably went
mental
into
note
that performance.
Yeah. I think the movie I'm talking about is called A Place in the Sun. It's with her and Montgomery Clift. And Montgomery Clift is married to Rosemary Clooney, I think, at the beginning of the movie, but then falls in love with Elizabeth Taylor and ends up, well, spoiler alert, for this movie from like the 50s. He ends up murdering Rosemary Clooney in this, he takes her out on a lake and like drowns her. It drowns her or bludgeons her with the...
Well, thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, with the oar.
Now, none of us can ever watch this.
Yeah, sorry. But it's a really interesting performance. That one's good, and there's one called Suddenly Last Summer with her and Katharine Hepburn.
I heard of that.
That's really good. And then Julie, well, I have finished the book, but Julie is still currently reading Beautiful Ruins, and they kind of talk about... Part of that book takes place during when Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton filmed Cleopatra. And so it talks about her a little bit. She's not the focal point of the book at all, but...
not at all, but she's in it a lot. I mean, they spend a lot of time on, like, the ups and downs of her relationship. Yeah. So it's very
I've actually never seen Cleopatra.
I haven't either. I kind of
just want to see it, even though I think it's supposed to be a train wreck.
According to the book, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the most expensive flops ever. Cause
really?
It was really expensive to make, yeah. And
I really
it just didn't do well. Yeah, we do a little movie watch.
An Elizabeth Taylor movie marathon in honor of this podcast.
That would actually be a lot of fun. So if you have to think about, what was your favorite picture or portrait that we saw? Not portrait, photograph.
That is interesting that you said that, because I was really just focusing on sharing the thing about seeing different pictures of the same thing from different angles. And I was like, don't forget that, Julie. That's really good to share. Didn't think about anything else. What was your favorite? Well, I think. Because I don't know.
I kind of liked the picture of all of her photos with Queen Elizabeth. Because you were so freaked out about
There's one weird photo
where it looks like Elizabeth Taylor and Queen Elizabeth are almost kissing. I'm assuming that was Queen Elizabeth, because it looks like
her.
Yeah, and all the photos were of the two of them at different stages in their life. So when they were both younger and they meet, and then they're older.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
However, it's not like they look like they're almost kissing, like, oh, haha, it just looks like that was about to They were kissing. They were about to kiss. It looked like they were about to, like, engage in a very passionate...
Like, make out kind
of
kiss.
They were really into it, and their lips are, like, just a centimeter apart. And this creepy fucking guy, his face is, like, in the back. So on the left is Queen Elizabeth, on the right is Elizabeth Taylor. Their lips are about to touch. And in the space where their foreheads are... There's this guy who's just staring at them with, like, such lust in his eyes.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
Weird that someone would frame that photo and put it up for everyone to see.
Yeah.
It was just really disturbing.
I only said that because I knew it would get a rise out of you. But I did also really like the picture of her more personal pictures, so of her children and other family members, because... Again, you don't think about Elizabeth Taylor, the woman. You think about Elizabeth Taylor, the icon. So, and I also really enjoyed the pictures that included her dog in them.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like she really loved that dog.
Yeah. It was in a lot of pictures.
It was.
You know, I think I really liked, my favorite pictures were the ones of, like, the wide shots of the room. Like, there was one when we first walked in of, her living room. And it was just, like, shag carpet from wall to wall. And it didn't look like the shag carpet was laid down. It looked like it was actually, like, stapled in. Because it went from the edge of the wall to the other edge of the wall.
Yeah.
And it just looked like it would be so wonderful. And, like, one of the walls was just completely windows, it looked like. And there were exposed wooden beams on the ceiling. And she just had, like... really beautiful furniture. I like seeing houses. Like, I go on Zillow.com a lot, and I, like, just look at pictures of houses.
I know.
So I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you recommend people take the time to go to this exhibit.
I would, definitely.
I would too,
I
because
loved
it was, really neat, and it was free, which is
free,
the
and it
whole
was
point
quick.
of our podcast.
We were only there for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
or so.
I mean, there's not a lot to see. There are only 50 photos. My one big problem is not the word I'm looking for. I can't talk today. Issue.
There you go.
I said that really weird. Issue was the fact that they didn't have labels on any of the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, normally you go to a museum and underneath or to the side there's at least the name of the photo or like a blurb about it. There was nothing. Just at the beginning of the exhibit, in a glass case, there was the list of the 50 pictures with the names, but only at the bottom.
We couldn't figure out.
Yeah, because none of them were numbered.
No.
That was another issue I had.
And there was, actually, we tried so hard to figure it out, except, okay, so the way that it was, you walk in and there are 2 levels. So on the first level, there were, I think, 9 photos, 9 framed photos. And then you go upstairs, and the rest of them are upstairs on the second level. So on the first level, we were thinking they were listed sequentially. I didn't want to use sequential again, but, you know.
That's a good word.
Thank you. Well, it was your word.
Yeah, I know. That's why I praised it.
So when we walked in, the first photo we saw was just all a red background. It said Elizabeth Taylor. And then when we looked at the glass case, number 1 said director's chair. And so we were like, oh, that's the director's chair. And for the first, like, 3 or 4 photos, everything was in order. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, like, number 7 was balloon curtains, right?
Right.
And the balloon curtains photo was upstairs. Yeah. And so we stood there for quite a bit of time trying to figure out which of the 9 photos in the first floor room was balloon curtains. Yeah. Right. And we kept saying, maybe it's this one? Do those curtains have balloons on them? Yeah. But they didn't. It was very weird. I don't know where the order came from, or if it was just... If it wasn't in order, why did they number it? It just was, it threw me off.
Yeah, so that was my big issue. Although, I will say, when you go upstairs, there's a little booklet that you can grab that lists all of them in order and has like a little map of the room to be like, this is where you are, and these are the 3 photos, and these are the names. And then some of them actually had a paragraph write-up about it.
I wonder why they chose certain ones to write about.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
Yeah.
Like, I would have...
Because they only wrote about 4 or 5 of them?
Yeah. Like, maybe I would have liked to write up of the one that said something like Japanese beef or...
Yeah, whoa, what was it?
It wasn't Where's the Beef.
Always question Japanese beef or something like
which
that.
I was like, why is that called that? When I looked more closely at the photo, because the photo was a picture of maybe a table or her makeup table again, but then the mirror, someone, maybe Elizabeth Taylor, wrote in lipstick that weird question Japanese.
About. Yeah.
So that would have
really
been
weird.
A great write-up to have, because what's going on? Why is that in there? Nothing. So that, would be my main
Her house
issue.
Was very old-fashioned.
It was, but she was old.
Thinking about. When did do we know when she bought that house?
No, we don't. Okay,
we'll never know.
Yeah, maybe you could do a deep dive. Google it. The next podcast, we give an update.
You know what? Let's do that.
Yeah. So yeah, check this out.
It goes through May, right?
It goes until May 8th, so you still have a couple months to go check it out. Like we said, super quick. We ate at Tender Greens.
We did.
Before, had delicious lunch.
Delicious. And we were able to walk there from Tender Greens.
Yep, we found a parking spot right on the street.
Not very far at all. Mm-hmm.
And then later we also got Girl Scout cookies. So
it was
really just a banner day for us.
Yeah, it was great. So only the museum part was free.
Yeah.
But, it was worth it to pay for Tender Greens.
Hex, yeah. And
all
we
right.
had a lovely afternoon. So, great. Thank you so much for checking in with our podcast.
And we will be back in March.
It is March.
Just kidding. That's it. Thank you.
What? Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.